all ages. And I am here in Oakland, California, and I'm so honored and so delighted to be here with Dr. Brenda White. She's one of my mentors. Now, many of you are always saying, Carolyn, how do you keep that six-pack? Or how do you keep, look at this, those biceps and those triceps? And I have to tell you one thing, everyone needs a mentor. And one day last year, I called Dr. Brenda White. I was in Florida, and I said, you know what, on your 50th high school graduation or reunion, she looked absolutely amazing. And I asked her, I said, what did you do? How did you do this? Now, when I met Dr. White, I met her like 6 or 7 years ago when she was the president of a national women's organization, and she had me as a speaker when I lived in California. And we became friends, and last time I saw her was about 4 or 5 years ago when I was writing a book called 56 with the Six-Pack. Now, many of you are saying, Carolyn, where's that book? That book's going to come out in the Deep Beauty series. It's taken me 5 years, but you know, when I do something and when God puts something on my heart, I do it well. So it's taken me time. But Dr. Brenda White, how are you?
I'm good, Carolyn.
I got to tell you, I'm just honored to be here. She has been my mentor. She's been my friend. And everybody needs a mentor or several mentors. Matter of fact, I think I'm so high maintenance, I have about 5 mentors. All of my mentors help me with different areas of my life. So Dr. White, could you tell us about, she's written several books. I actually have 4 books sitting in front of me. One of her very first book, when I first met her, she wrote the book called Make Food Your Medicine. Can you see that? Make food your medicine and medicine your food. Did I get that right?
You got it right, Carol.
Okay. Then she came out with the Smoothie Green book to help with that. I want everyone to see this. You see that? Then she came out with the workbook, and we're going to talk to her about all these different books. This right here is a workbook journal because we got to be accountable for what we're putting in our bodies. And many of us, we want to get the results, but we don't want to do the work. And I've got to tell you, in order to look good, feel your best, you've got to put work into it. Dr. White, since I've met her, I don't know how much weight she's lost, but she was a diabetic, and she's going to tell you what she's done. And this is the last book that she just wrote, and this is called How to Eat Healthy and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes. Now, that's pretty powerful. Dr. White, thank you. I'm so honored to have you. Anyway, Dr. White, tell everybody how you got started and being a diabetic. When a person's a diabetic, what prompted you into going into health and nutrition?
Okay.
And let people know how much weight you've lost. This lady, I got to tell you, when she went to her 50th class reunion, I called her up and said, you look like you shouldn't even be with that class. And when she said, can you imagine going to a class reunion when you look like you're 30? And that's what she looked like compared to her counterpart. So Dr. White, how did you get started in this business?
I started in 2010. And what happened is at that time, I had diabetes, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and every time I went to the doctor, he was telling me about something else that was going wrong. And so I actually invested into a program to improve my health. And I learned so much. And I was really concerned about diabetes because I was losing my eyesight, my hearing, and I had tingling in my hands, all of the signs that let you know that if you don't do something, that you are headed down the wrong path. And I didn't want to do that. So I went through a 9-week program and changed my health. And I learned so much, Carolyn, that I had to share. So that's when I started writing a speech. And I did so much research. And as I wrote the speech, it turned into a book.
Oh, my goodness.
It turned into a book, Make Food Your Medicine and Medicine your food.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's how I actually got started in it.
Wow. Now, tell people how to reverse diabetes. How a lot of folks figure, okay, the doctor told me that, you're borderline. And people tell me that all the time. You're borderline, but I'm still going to eat that macaroni and cheese and I'm still not going to work out. Share with people how can they reverse their diabetes if they're type 2, and how do they prevent it if the doctor tells them that they're borderline diabetic?
I think that the most important thing about diabetes and other chronic diseases is that what you have to realize is that it's food related. And so if you're eating a certain kind of food that's causing illness in your body, quite naturally, if you switch that and start eating healthier selections, it really does make a difference in your body. And I think that what people have to realize is that it takes time. Okay. You didn't become a diabetic or pre-diabetic overnight, so you have to give yourself a certain amount of time to practice a system that actually reverses type 2 diabetes. And what I found is that there are micronutrients and there are macronutrients. And so the majority of the population is eating macronutrients, 62%
what
of the time.
What is that? Can you explain it to everyone?
Okay. Micronutrients there are so many micronutrients in green leafy vegetables that scientists haven't even been able to determine how many nutrients they are. But this is what you need to heal the body. Okay. It's the minerals, it's the vitamins, it's the micronutrients. And unfortunately, 62% of the food we eat are in the micro. That's your meat, that's your bread, and that's the fat. And so that's what people are eating, and that's what's causing the type 2 diabetes. Okay. So switch that up and start including lots of green leafy vegetables in your diet. Fruits, and then you'll find that as you do this, the more you do it, you'll just notice that you're going to start feeling better.
Oh, I love it. You know what? This lady has made me feel better. Trust me. To get on stage at the age of 60 and show my biceps and my triceps, she is the reason why. Another thing, I asked Dr. White, I said, could you tell me what kind of mindset do I get in order to be healthy?